welcome to part 6 of the SRC Hemi engine swap.
Hello and welcome to part 6 of the 6.4 liter 392 Jeep JKU engine swap series that I'm doing. The goal yesterday was to get the garage cleaned up a little bit, get the engine mounted on the stand, and I was able to accomplish both of those. I also want to take a minute to thank everybody that's watching the videos. It's surprising for me. I mean, I didn't think 26 people would actually subscribe to my channel to watch us or to watch me, try to put an engine into a Jeep. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I would encourage you to subscribe because ultimately I want to grow this and I want to be more comfortable and make more content for everybody else. So with that said, please subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and it also shows me that everybody's watching. So nonetheless, I was able to get the engine mounted onto the engine stand here. The little bit about this engine, this is the engine that's out of the 2015 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack Edition. You can see that all the cooling and wiring harness and pretty much everything's still on it. So I'm going to start getting that stripped off here. One thing to note that I want to make sure that I mention, I didn't show the engine being mounted to the stand because I didn't know if I don't want to teach anybody how to use a lift. That there's a lot of other resources out there that can help with that. Rigging is definitely not a specialty of mine, so I didn't want to actually put that out there. But nonetheless, one thing to note on the engine stand, when you are attaching the stand mount that's right here, it's the black part. It's right here, that's adjustable. This is the bell housing that's right behind there where the transmission bolts into. You want to make sure that you're using number 8 grade bolts or grade 8 bolts. They're hardened so that they're just ultimately stronger. If you get ones that are softer, holding this kind of weight from that small of a location could just rip them right out or break them, bend them. Whole assortment of things could happen. Ultimately, you don't want to have a failure, so going with the grade 8 or higher bolt quality is where you want to be. So today, what we're going to end up doing is going through removing everything that's not needed on the engine right now. I really want to pull the valve covers and the intake to see what the engine actually looks like. I figure that's probably as far as I will go. I do know that I'll have to flip it over and change out the oil pan, so we'll have to pull the oil pan, new gasket, and I believe I'll need a new pickup tube because we have to change the side that the sump is on this to fit inside the Jeep. I want to get everything cleaned up. There's some paint spray, overspray right there, and you can see the gunk that's in there right now. So what I did is I picked up some gunk engine cleaner foamy spray stuff, and I'll put a link to this in the description if it actually works. I don't know if it will. We're just kind of doing this by trial and error, I guess you could say. As I take this apart, I'm going to start documenting the different pieces that I'm taking apart. I don't know what a lot of these parts to the engine are called. I'm sure that this has some sort of name. It's a radiator hose of some sort. But nonetheless, I want to learn more about what I'm looking at. I believe this is the fuel rail that's right here. And obviously this is the intake. I don't know what all the different pulleys are. This is the alternator over here. Some sort of, maybe this is the AC pump. Not exactly sure on that. These do look like AC lines, but we're going to learn a little bit and we'll go from there. All right, I gotta tell you, that is a lot harder than I anticipated it being. So what I'm running into is the rubber hoses that are on here. They are an absolute pain in the ass to get off. I'm guessing this is one of those mechanic tricks that when you've been working in a shop for a long time, you know how to do. But for me, I mean, getting the clamp off is relatively easy. That's straightforward. You just squeeze and you pull off. But man, I'm trying to figure out how to actually get these to pull off there. I mean, I can yank on it, but it's actually not getting me anywhere. And I want to take these off nicely because I don't know if I'm going to need to reuse them later. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep struggling at it. I'll get this video done, post it, and then I have a sneaky suspicion that somebody in the comments will go, oh, just do this. And then I'm going to feel like an idiot, but that's okay. At least I'll know how to do it afterwards. Everybody's got to struggle once, right? All right, the hoses are off, and man, those are kind of hard to do. I was able to accomplish it with pliers and a flathead screwdriver. Probably could have used a different flathead screwdriver that kind of got under it a little bit better, but hey, that worked. I had to bust out the little flathead to get in one of the tight spots, but man, tell you what, I can picture a couple of mechanic friends laughing at me right at the moment. But hey, it's all right. Okay, the next part I'm going to take off is the leftover wiring harness that's on here. And we'll go from there. All right, I'll tell you what's interesting is there is a whole lot of different clips, but they all have a consistency of having to push down on some sort of, anti-release lever. Some are really hard to get out, but other than that, they're coming along. Okay, one thing I want to talk about real quick is these clips for the coil pack. Let me see if I can get a little better angle right here. So I struggled with this one a little bit because I don't know if I'm just a little weak, but I couldn't push in right here hard enough to actually get the clip to open up to release. So it's normally on like so, it's clipped in, red is down to take it off, open that up, push in and pull up. So the first time I had to use a screwdriver and push a little bit right here to get it to pull up, but yeah, we're able to get that done second time. Next thing to point out is these are the little plugs that hold the wiring harness in place. I'm gonna buy some new ones of these because they have a zip tie. Oh wait, maybe I won't have. Oh yeah. The zip tie is actually attached to the plug. So I'm gonna order new ones of those. So I'm just All right, wiring harness is off. All right, so now that we have the wiring harness off, we have the different hoses off, let's go ahead and take the fuel rail off. $13mm sockets or bolts. Okay, so the next part is to take off these two pegs right here. These pegs are also what hold on the valve covers right here. So they would sit like that. Now, if I understand correctly, we just have to wiggle and pull up. Oh, hey, they pulled out pretty nicely. Okay, what I'm doing here is I'm putting the pegs right back, or the bolts right back in so we don't lose them. I got the fuel rail off. Looking at the injectors, you know, let's see if I can get zoomed in here. I don't know if, you know, the bottoms don't look like they're clogged or anything, but I do see quite a bit of grime on them. I'm gonna look up a procedure on how to clean those. But otherwise, that came out pretty good. There's another injector that's got some grime on it. Okay, so here's for a fun part. We're gonna take the intake cover off, intake manifold off. These are 8mm bolts. Okay, let's see if that's enough just to lift this right out. And it was. All right, I have the intake manifold removed. This is, and I'll be honest, it's my first time ever removing intake manifold and really looking inside of an engine. So if you see something that looks kind of out of the ordinary or I should be concerned about, please put it in the comment section. I'm gonna do some research and learn about it too, but at the same time, I know a lot of people that are watching this have done this type of thing before. I noticed that, here, I'll show you guys the engine right now. When I'm looking inside, Got a flashlight. There is a fair bit of carbon buildup, I see. All of them kind of look that way. And obviously I don't know if that's a common issue or there's some sort of problem that needs to be addressed. Or if it's perfectly fine. Like, put it back on, and now that you've seen the inside of that, let me know. I don't know if that's a good sign, bad sign, or, it's more of a I have to get a different intake manifold, but put the intake manifold back on and call it good. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna do a little research too, and we'll combine notes here in the next couple days. All right, I think that's all I'm gonna do for right now, and we'll go from there. Thanks a lot.